So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the compulsory language papers in UPSC mains. You have two compulsory language papers. One is English, which is compulsory for everybody, and the second is an Indian language, which for the purpose of today's video will take up as Hindi. We are going to be looking at what are the different sections, what sections you can ignore safely, and how do you prepare for these papers in the least amount of time possible, because in the end, these are qualifying exams and you don't want to spend too much time preparing for this. Now, for those of you who are giving in some other language, you can get the paper from the official UPSC website. Schedule 8 May, you are giving 22 languages, but here there is a reduction. Number of the languages will be missing, but most of the major languages that are spoken in India, you'll find over here. Now, coming to the breakup. For the English language paper, the first and most obvious part is essay. Instead of 1,000 words which you write in the essay paper in general studies, this will be a 600-word essay. It's again not that hard. The general, we'll have a look at what are the topics that come up. It's an easy enough GS type essay, and right, if you have prepared enough for the mains essay, the general studies wala essay, this should be fine. Second is a comprehension, where you are supposed to answer 5 questions, 15 marks each, for a total of 75 marks. It's a long, extensive comprehension. So generally what will happen is ki whatever the question is, you can go to the relevant part and you'll find the answers. Then there is Prezi writing. Prezi writing is the idea that, let's say you're given a 750 word passage and you are supposed to reduce this into 1/3 of the length. Right. So that's the idea, that you are able to capture the essence of what is written and condense the rest of it. Finally, last 50 marks are for grammar. Now, grammar is an area where you'll be asked synonyms, antonyms, and those sorts of things. But again, not very hard. So, if you're giving mains in English medium, this should be pretty simple enough. There should be no issues over here. And the important part is obviously that you are only supposed to score 75 out of 300 marks in this paper. You are only supposed to score 25% marks, and it's a qualifying paper, so you don't have to be worried too much about it. Still, if you are giving Hindi medium में आप दे रहे हो या किसी और medium में आप दे रहे हो, English is not your medium for the mains paper, तो फिर ज़रूर go and try and give this paper, because it can get a little tricky at times, which is the same case for Indian language. So for the purpose of this video, we'll be talking about Hindi. Hindi में या किसी भी Indian language में what happens is, again, 100 marks for the essay, 600 words. Even if you leave this essay, I personally did, it doesn't really make a difference. Or you can choose to leave any of the sections. You have enough space so that you can leave grammar, you can leave this, that, XYZ, and you will be fine. The easiest parts, obviously, you should definitely do the translation and you should definitely do the comprehension. So again, you're getting pretty good marks. Prezi writing, again the same idea, that 750 words have to be condensed into 250. So basic idea same hai sare kai. Marks also over here, you have to score 75 out of 300. And here grammar and translation, because translation is a new element in this. It's only in the Indian language papers, not in the English papers. Translation का रहेगा, एक आपको रहेगा Hindi to English, and one you will have English to Hindi. Right? Hindi to be replaced by any Indian language that you're taking over here. So 2 translations, 20 marks each. This is generally the easy part. This is also easy, and this is also easy. So ये 3 parts आपके easier of the lot हैं. You can leave the essay for later. Meaning generally क्या होता है कि essay is 1/3 of the entire thing, and it might take you 1 hour to write it. But if you've done all of the other things, and then you come back to the essay, so even if you finish it, if you don't finish it, if you get part marks out of 100, you get 25, 15, whatever it is, you'll be fine. Right, so let's have a look at the papers. So English ka paper, this is the compulsory English language paper, 300 marks as you can see. All questions to be attempted. आपका यहाँ पे essay, this is 2024 का English language paper, ethics in sports, war as a policy instrument for nations today, there is no place like home. Simple essay is not like the complicated essay paper ones. And then comprehension, 75 marks, and it's a big comprehension. and then you have 5 questions, 15 marks each. Simple and straightforward रहता है. There is not too much of a complication over here, and you don't have to, think too much about it. Now for Prezi writing, 75 marks के लिए Prezi writing है, and at the end of it they will give you the total word count of the passage. Over here it's 697 words. So your condensation of it should be 1/3 approximately. Right, so 1/3 of 697 should be around 230, plus minus 10-15 words either way. You can write 240, you can write 220, that will be fine, but somewhere around that range. Right, finally coming to grammar. Grammar mein you'll have different parts, and each part will have a separate weightage. Like for example, correct form of the verb 5 marks, antonyms 5 marks, correction of sentences. These are generally your easiest parts, particularly in the English language paper, and even in the Hindi language paper आप देखोगे तो 10 marks के लिए ये हो गया आपका. And then finally make sentences that bring out the meaning. तो English language में if particularly you're giving the paper with English, this should be pretty simple and straightforward. Now coming to the Indian language, सबसे पहली चीज़ 100 marks का आपका निबंध है, इसको छोड़ दो, come back to it later. It's not that difficult, it's वो issue नहीं है यहाँ पे, but again it is a time sink. It will take time to plan the essay, and if you are not used to writing in Hindi, right, because होता क्या है, because we've been practicing for English medium essay writing, whatever GS writing so long that Hindi writing की आदत छूट गई होती है अगर, तो वो लिखने में भी पहले प्रॉब्लम आएगी. तो for practice purpose what I would recommend is एक बारी 2024 का ये पेपर 3 घंटा लगा के just give it. It will be good practice for you, right? तो essay को leave for later. Here now again Gadyansh or your comprehension for 60 marks, big enough comprehension, and 5 question for 12 marks each. Now Prezi writing में again what you'll get is at the end of it that it is 622 words, so approximately around 200 words का your comprehension Prezi writing should be over here. Now anuvad or translation, a passage that has been given, you have to translate to English, and then an English passage is given, you have to translate into Hindi. Generally what will happen is ऊपर नीचे आगे पीछे से कहीं कहीं you'll keep finding words, and at times what also happens is because you are not used to the using very tough vocabulary, right? For example, personally I gave the mains exam in English medium, and Hindi medium ka when I was writing the paper, when I was translating or when I was writing the essay, I wanted to say something but I could not remember the word, right? So generally what I did is I translated it literally into English and wrote it. Okay, fine, I'll lose some marks but I'll be fine overall. So यहाँ पे number of people ask कि भाई can I skip grammar completely in Hindi का language paper, and your choice, but these are some of the there are easier parts to this. If मुहावरे are not your cup of tea, तो this should definitely be, right? आपको यहाँ पे वाक्य को शुद्ध करके लिखना है. This is the easier part of it. General sense आपको बन जाएगी. पर्यायवाची लिखने हैं, 2 नहीं आते, 1 लिख दो, जितना आता है उतना लिख दो. The entire point of this paper is it wants to check proficiency, that you can converse in that language. You're not supposed to be very very great communicator over here. Now coming to the sources for this, Hindi के लिए number 1 what I would say is go and read the GS syllabus that is given in Hindi. GS syllabus, if you go and read in Hindi, it will give you a lot of vocabulary for you to use, which I personally faced an issue with during my attempts. Second, Hindi grammar books for class 9 and 10. इतना अगर आप कर लेते हो 1 day before the exam, I think you'll be fine. थोड़ा obviously effort लगेगा, and this is specifically for the grammar वाला part towards the end of the paper. For the rest of it, I don't think बहुत ज़्यादा हमें effort डालने की ज़रूरत है. Manage your time कि भाई you do the easy parts first so that you're not stressed about कि okay मेरा paper बचा है and all that by the end of it. Coming to English, if this is the problem for you, so similar ideas. If you are giving Hindi medium, read the syllabus in English will be very helpful for you, will give you a lot of vocabulary that you can then use in the language papers. And similarly, NCERTs for grammar class 9 and 10. Itna, if you can do you are pretty much sorted for these papers, because in the end, keep in mind, these are qualifying papers. You are not supposed to write, or get 200 out of 300 marks. Number nahi judenge. All that you have to do is get the bare minimum to pass and focus on the other exams. So the idea was that we wanted to talk about bare minimum क्या करना है. सबसे important चीज, previous year paper एक बार कर लो. 2024 का paper if you can do, just attempt this paper once. It will give you enough of writing practice. It will give you good enough sense ki acha, what can I do, what will take time, what will not take time, and you'll be pretty chill in the exam hall. So that's all for today's video. All the best for mains.